Hello, what I have for you today, it's TiOC 2.0. Remember I made a video about the first generation, so in the second generation we do have all those bells and whistles that you know, but on the top of that we do have a few extra features that I'd like to show you today. Starting with the built-in speaker, you can announce the message. You can, one of the messages actually built into the camera. You can upload your own message if you like, as well as you can use the microphone built in for a two-way audio. Actually, there's two microphones to reduce the noise and increase the audio quality. We do have the red and blue light still on, and that can flicker and scare someone off the side if you like. The white light during the nighttime, that can be on and off. You can change the brightness still. But if you don't like to have the white light, I do understand sometimes you don't want to have the light on all the time, just like you do with the PAR in the back garden, for example. You just like to trigger by the motion. So what we have here is the infrared light, the old school infrared, that can show you the picture in a monochrome, but the white light then will be turned off. And if someone's going to walk in to the field of view of the camera will trigger the white light to illuminate the whole area. And then we do have that intrusion detection and line crossing that can trigger the red and blue light and the message and push notifications to your phone and so on. And that can be also recorded to the SD card that you can fit in to this camera. It's a 256 gigabytes SD card you can fit in, so that's plenty, and you can actually make this camera fully standalone, power up 12 volts DC or PoE if you like, just a standard PoE, and then connect that to the internet. There's also the audio input and output if you like to connect a horn speaker, for example, or like a line-in microphone. And there's also the input and output for the alarm, and so you can connect some beams. You can use the alarm output to trigger any third-party device if you need to. Also the alarm input, it's used to arm or disarm this device to this camera. So like you know, on the NVR or XVR, you can use the alarm input to the back of the recorder to actually arm or disarm this device. In this case, you can actually, if you have that kind of standalone, you can use that one key disarm by using the switch keypad connected to the input, and that will completely disarm this camera. So you won't get any flashing light or announce message when it's disarmed. You won't get any email notifications, for example. So those features are going to be disarmed. And so the best thing to do, it would be just to show you those few features within the camera web browser. I already installed the camera on the front of my gaff, so let me show you a few things. All right, so we logged in, we go to settings, we're going to have a look into those new features. So in the camera and conditions, we do have the illumination, where we can choose different type of the illumination, different mode. So the smart illumination, the camera will decide on its own when to turn on and off the infrared or white light. With the white light, the camera will switch on the light by default when it's getting darker, just like the TiOC first generation. Or you have that infrared mode only, where the camera is going to work like any other IP camera, old school infrared camera if you need to. I'm going to leave it on the smart illumination, but to be honest, I have the street lamp on the front of my house, so it's always sufficient illumination, so it always stays on and in the full color. But what else we have there? Obviously, we do have those audible warnings, so we can see what we can choose from. You can all add a third-party, audio message. You can record your own message if you like as well via the web browser. We do have the Ibs rules, so you do have the intrusion detection, line crossing. You can have up to 10 different rules. For each rule, you can have a different message played back, different option to be enabled. So for example, my intrusion detection, I have the message to be playing back one time, and it will flicker the light for like 10 seconds, where the tripwire, it's only used as a tripwire to just pick up any human or vehicle on the front of the house passing by without triggering any alarms whatsoever. If you have that camera, we can also use the alarm input to arm and disarm this camera. And so when it's disarmed, it will actually stop sending any emails, stops triggering audio message or warning light. But you just need to choose the mode for arm disarm. By default, it's armed, so normally open, the circuit is open. It will arm the camera if you close the circuit. So if you have that relay connected to the alarm panel, for example, the control panel, it will close the circuit and then it will disarm this camera. It could be a flicker switch, it could be any kind of third-party device, with a simple relay. For example, like a keypad connected to the input of the camera to arm and disarm the camera. If you're not using the input, you can of course use the app on the phone and use the disarm feature on the phone and disarm or arm the camera remotely. So yeah, I'd just like to show you a quick video that I have for you. So let me show you there now. So now camera is working in the monochrome mode with the infrared on, and you can see it's working like a ordinary camera. So now camera is working as the infrared on, but with the white light trigger like a PIR. So if someone's gonna walk in front of my camera, it will pick it up an object and trigger the white light. So now camera is going to trigger just like the ordinary white light camera, and it's going to start flashing the red and blue light as well with whatever message you like to announce. So you can see the camera is really impressive, and what you can get, it's pretty much everything you need. You just decide what features do you want to have enabled. All right, so thank you very much, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care. Bye.